Awesome. So, hey everyone, welcome to your local agent podcast, episode 5. I'm your host, Justin Venegas, or you could call me JV for short. And today I'm accompanied by.
Julie St. George from the Perfect Property Real Estate Team in Atlanta, Georgia.
Awesome. And Julie, what inspired you to pursue a career in real estate, and how did you get started in the industry?
I have been in real estate for 8 years full time. I have my broker's license and I have a small team here in Atlanta. What started me was I bought my first house, and the experience was not one that I thought was amazing, and I thought I could do better. And so, because I thought I could do better, I had been in a history of sales.
Okay. Sorry.
And are we still recording?
Yeah. Sorry for the camera. My bad.
Okay,
Sorry for the camera.
so I knew that I could do better than that, and I went into real estate. I had been in a sales position. I had my own sales company for many years across
Mhm.
the country, and I decided to do real estate instead of what I had been doing previously.
Awesome. Um, is there any personal interest or hobby that you feel influences your work as a realtor? I saw you did I saw you do podcast as well, so I'm kind of curious to touch base on that. Can you sort of run me through that, please?
Yeah, I started the podcast because for our clients, we had the same questions coming up over and over again, and a lot of them needed deeper information than what we were able to tell them. For example, the Radon podcast, I interviewed the EPA. So the scientists from the EPA come onto the podcast, and we go over what radon is, where it comes from, examples of how to treat it, and what to think when you have a high rating for radon, and what a picocurie is. And so I wanted to have in-depth information for my clients that they could
Hmm.
easily get to. So I wanted to make it available for everyone who was looking for real estate, and learning about real estate and how to buy and sell houses. So I go into typical questions that we come up all the time on our client journey.
Awesome. And do you feel like that influences your work as a realtor? That helps you gain more clients, or how do you think the podcast helps you in your real estate career?
Yeah, we lead with education on my team. And so,
Hmm.
because we lead with education, having that podcast really just solidifies the fact that we're out to help people, and that we're we're not a one and done type of team. We want to be there for you for the entire journey. We have
Hmm.
multiple clients that are, 5 and 6 transactions in with us, whether they're investors or whether they're buyers and sellers, and they're just either moving up or trading down. And the podcast is really just part of our education for our clients.
Awesome. And do you feel like that embodies like your quality of work, or is there like some other important qualities that real estate agents have to be successful in this day and age? Because I know new agents are just starting off. So what would be your like having like with like giving your clients education, is that like a way to go to actually assure clients working with you, or is there any other qualities that you need as a new real estate agent?
I think for new agents, they need to do as much research as possible with credible sources, and they need to educate themselves. They need to get as much training as possible, and then you need to get out and do the work. We learn something with every new transaction. Even 8 years in, we have transactions that are not typical, right? We have atypical transactions all the time. The atypical is more the typical. So if you're a new agent, I think having a podcast is something that you can do once you learn the game, and once you learn all of the information that you need to be able to educate your clients properly. Every agent does not need to have their own podcast. I think everyone just needs to have the education in order to help lead their clients in the right direction.
Awesome. I just had a quick little quote. Just to see if you agree with it. Is your first home is not your dream home. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it depends on the home and it depends on the client. Why wouldn't it be?
Because I was in the let's say is working as investors, right? When you have investors and new homeowners, right? Since in real estate, really real estate is really about generational wealth. And the way I see it, the way I previously mentioned with my other realtors is that is real estate is a generational wealth. Like again, many of the wealthy people, many of the rich people, they own real estate. So that's why I want to get some gathering some little data here is like do you think it depends on like if they're just new home buyers or are they real estate investors? You think the sort of that sort of mentality of your first home and that dream home depends on your clients and the type of clients you work with? Is that sort of
No, I think the quote, maybe you need a new quote, because the first
yeah.
home could the first home could be a dream home for an investor? What if they own their own property where they live, their primary residence, but their first investment property could be a dream of them having an investment? You could be just out of high school, you're 18 years old and your grandmother leaves you some money and you get your first investment property or your first apartment. What if you live in your first condo? That could be your dream home. Your dreams can change over time. Your needs will change over time. You may need a bigger house. You may need a house with a yard, like we saw in COVID. Everybody got dogs, and they all of a sudden went from living in a small condo into needing a house with a backyard for the puppy dog. So I think your dreams can change, and as long as your lifestyle is such that you can afford your mortgage, then why not have real estate as part of your dreams?
Well, so if you could if you could fix that quote, what sort of, or do you have a own like a little mantra? Do you have like a little mantra sort of quote that you tell your clients, or what sort of things that you tell them that let's say of course if your dream home is your first home is your dream home, what sort of like saying do you have to say? Like, do you have anything at all like a little mantra?
No, there's no mantra because each client has different needs.
Gotcha.
Each client has different needs in terms of where they are in their lives, what they're trying to achieve, and we just want to make sure that we can help them reach their goal. I think a goal is very different than a dream, and we
Mm.
help people reach their goals and accomplish their real estate goals. We sometimes dreams are tied into that, but a dream may or may not come true, whereas a goal is an easy thing to accomplish if you're with the right people.
Got you. Yeah, like, step by step. I agree with that. I agree with that. So now we hit into our first game show. I like to call it fact or fiction. Right? We should have so far only one person had got all three of them right. Let's see if we could hopefully got all of them right as well. Who do?
Sure, go ahead.
Awesome. Now, first question. Do townhomes retain their value in Atlanta? False or fiction? I mean, fact or
I'd like
fiction?
you to send me the stats that you're looking at. Yes, of course, townhomes retain their value depending on where they are and what type of activity is going on in that complex. Any kind of real estate can retain their value and can grow if
Mm-hmm.
you're buying if you buy at the right time and if you buy for the right conditions.
Well, it is a fact. It is a fact. I'll link the sources down here. On the chat. It's a fact. Okay. Now, one for one. Now for the second one, is it true that Atlanta is a good place to invest in real estate? In real estate.
Absolutely. Atlanta is the #1 city to watch across the country this year.
Mhm.
We are leading some of the other countries in sales and in growth. Over the last 365 days, according to NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, we've seen an 8.4% increase in home sales.
Absolutely. That was exactly my same source. Yeah, it is actually a good place, especially Marietta and Sandy Springs. I heard they're also up and coming. I don't know your thoughts on that. Can you sort of give me
Well,
like a
you've never been to either one of them then, because they're not up and coming. They have been. So they
uh
are solid and they are secure neighborhoods with vibrant communities, established schools, and established retail spaces. There are other neighborhoods that have not been as established over the last 10 years that are up and coming neighborhoods in Atlanta, but we have no natural boundaries. So we are growing and growing and growing. There are no, there's a river, sure, but there's no ocean to stop us. There's no mountain range that are close to us to stop us. So we really can continue to grow.
awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah, because I recently was just doing some research, and yeah, it was the first thing that popped up was Marietta and Sandy Springs, and I believe so that if a market has a good good schools around, good jobs, do you think that sort of impacts how successful the market will be in the future, or does it fall under the population, or does it fall on both actually? Right? Is the population in a market depend? Does that help you get a sense of how successful it will be? Because the way, just to give a little example of what I do is that like I usually look at places that have like 500,000 of people in their metros, and that sort of gives us a clue of how like migration happens there, and mainly because there's good schools and good jobs. Do you think that sort of is sort of aligns or is sort of true, or what's your thoughts on that stats statistics?
So I would say if you build it, they will come, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
good schools only come from good tax bases. Good tax bases come from people who pay taxes. Good tax bases come from houses that have, home ownership values that are higher. So it really depends on what your exact question is, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
there are different areas that you see different rates of growth.
Okay. Yeah, so sorry for the misunderstanding. My simple question was, do population, job growth, and schools impact how successful a market will be? That was
Yeah,
my
also transportation, sure. I mean, there are a lot of things that impact what a neighborhood is going to do. The level of, in 2008, when we saw a housing crisis, the hardest hit zip code in the country was 30310 for mortgage fraud. One in three houses had a mortgage fraud situation to attend to
mm-hmm.
in 30310, which is in an Atlanta suburb. It's right in an Atlanta, town that we have here. So it was the highest hit rate for mortgage fraud in the whole country. So that had a lower place to come from as they started to rebuild from
Mm-hmm.
2008 on. That zip code is thriving now, and a lot of things have changed. Zoning can change how profitable or how developed a neighborhood is. Zoning, tax laws, and there, all kind geographic reasons, whether things are in floodplains or not. There's a lot more than just schools and infrastructure that can change how fast or how quickly the neighborhood is going to be successful, as you said. I mean, I don't. It's hard to measure the success rate. Crime. There's a lot of statistics that go into what makes an area livable. Proximity to transportation. Is it a food desert? Are there local areas for shopping? All of those things contribute, not just schools.
Oh, got you. Okay. Yeah, crime rate is very important. And talking about crime rate, do you think townhomes are a good investment in terms of privacy and security in Atlanta, Georgia? Do you recommend townhomes, or do you know anything about townhomes?
Why townhomes specifically? Why are you asking about townhomes?
Oh, because that's basically like it was my next like fact or fiction question that is I received. Is it like, are townhomes a good investment in terms of privacy and security? And I one of is fact or fiction. If it isn't, because right here in in what I researched, I'll send you the link. It says a fact actually, because as tenants get private entrances and a sense of community and safety, which I think is steadily.com. I'll send you the link right here if you guys research.
Yeah, but whether it's a condo complex, a townhome complex, or a single family residence,
Mhm.
and single family residences can be in communities that are gated with HOAs. So it really depends on what the buyer is looking for,
Okay.
right? Because if you have a community with an HOA and a gate, then that'll give you the same sense of privacy as if you were in a townhome complex with a gate. I think it just depends on what the buyer is looking for.
Copy. Talking about buyers, who do you typically work with, right? Why do you enjoy working with that particular group of clients? The majority of realtors we have out here was investors. Is it the same for you, or do you like working with home buyers or sellers?
We like working with all clients and all price points. We believe in our team that we lead with education and everyone deserves a home. So we have sold houses for $80,000 over to several million. So we don't work with a particular price bracket.
Mm-hmm.
We work with referrals. We work with investors who may have a $200,000 house to sell, but they also have 25 of them, and I'm selling all 25 of them on a tract. So
Awesome.
we work with
Awesome.
everyone, regardless of price point. And we work with investors. We sell land. We help people buy and sell land. We help people buy and sell land for agricultural and also for rebuilding. So I have a client right now in North Georgia who bought land last year, and they are building their second dream home. So whether it's their first home is their dream home, and now they're building their second dream home. But we help them reach the goal of purchasing that land. So we work with all types of clients in all areas. And I have a very robust referral base. So I
Mm-hmm.
help clients when they move out of state. I help them connect with realtors in different cities or different areas of the country or different areas of the world. We have clients that have relocated outside of the country, and I've helped connect them to realtors outside of the country that meet a certain standard of work ethic. And they're very happy to take my recommendations.
I'm glad that you mentioned networking, which I'm gonna touch base in a bit. But can you describe like a time you went above and beyond for a client and what you learned from that experience? Like, has there ever been like a time that you really pushed for? Let's say the client has been trying neglecting and not sure. Is there any time that you went above and beyond for them? And could it give me an example of it?
Yep, for all of our clients, and everyone has unique needs. We have tons of stories, and a lot of them are mentioned in my 150 plus online reviews. We go above and beyond for our clients each and every time.
Awesome. And also, how do you establish trust with them? How do you establish trust with your clients? Let's say they've never met you before. What are your strategies that you use to ensure they feel comfortable working with you?
That's a great question. How to establish trust with anyone is you tell the truth, you know what you're doing, you come from education because they know that I am a source for them, and that you're real with them. I'm not in it for a deal. I'm in it for a relationship. We love our clients. They come back to us many, many times. I'm
Mhm.
not here for a one and done transaction. I'm in here for I am your realtor for life, and whatever you need anytime in the future, I'm here for you. So that's how we treat our clients.
Little golf club. I really like that quote. Really like that quote. Right? You just work to build a relationship. Don't work to sell a home. That's a really golden nugget right there. Right? It's people at the end of the day. People want to talk to people. Right? If they don't feel if they just feel like you're selling something to them, then of course that just crushes the trust and credibility. So I really like that you mentioned that. Not many as I mentioned, not many agents go to build relationships, but they go to like trying to build a reputation and try to actually just sell something, right? Sell listings, which is it's
My
again
reputation is built by my clients. My clients build my reputation in the fact that I do a great job for them.
awesome. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you could say how good you are at working, but if you don't show that to them, then how exactly are you're gonna use that as proof? Absolutely agree with that. As I mentioned, I was gonna touch base more on how you network is. How do you approach building a relationship with other professionals in your industry, such as off country, not off country, like off market realtors? How do you build trust with lenders, attorneys, and even home inspectors? Can you sort of walk me through how you approach building those relationships?
I ask them qualifying questions. If you are a lender that only works weekdays, then you're going to have a tough time working with my team because we expect excellence and we expect response rates to be very quick in terms of lenders. We expect to only work with the best. I've built a vendor list of excellent vendors that I know and trust, and I make all of my vendors work for me on one of my properties before I even consider putting them on the vendor list. So I've had firsthand experiences with any of the vendors that we recommend.
Then that moves on to our segment three. Then was there any meaningful or impactful moment from your career as a realtor that stands out to you?
It was amazing when I had my first listing. It was amazing when I had my 100th listing. It was amazing when I passed my broker's license, just as much as it was amazing when I passed my real estate license 8 years ago. So I think as you grow, you have to look forward to different milestones in your career,
Mhm.
and none is more important or more interesting than the last as long as you continue to grow and build your business.
Awesome. So and how do you exactly balance your real estate life with your personal life? Is that sort of is it sort of
It's
a
a fine balance,
fine balance?
and my clients know that they can reach me almost any time. I'm a little bit of an insomniac, so I have clients that are international that will text me in the middle
Mhm.
of the night and I'll respond. I think it's just a fine balancing act between your personal life and your work life. And when you care as deeply as we do about our clients, the the personal becomes professional, and vice versa.
Awesome, awesome. And do you find that the aspect of being able to build relationship with them and them texting you late at night, do you feel that being like just like you following up with them and they actually having you in the radar, do you find that part being the most rewarding aspect of being a realtor, or is there any other rewarding aspect that you find as a realtor?
I think it's always very rewarding when you get to the closing table and make that client's goal happen.
Hmm.
If we can get them to the closing table and they've accomplished their goal, then that is rewarding. It's also just as rewarding to get a referral from a client because you know you've done a great job for that client, that they're willing to refer you to their clients and their friends and their colleagues and their family. So when we get referrals from our clients, that's very rewarding.
So awesome. Now this is where like just like what advice would you give to yourself when you first started in real estate? What are some
Um,
obstacles you faced? Yeah.
my advice to myself 8 years ago would be get in and get started. You're going to be great.
Just keep on pushing. Do you think overthinking kind of ha- plays a part in delaying your success as an early starter as a real estate agent?
No, I don't overthink things. I go out and get the answers that I need from the sources that I feel are reputable and resourceful, and learn how to do things. And I have no problems making decisions. I'm very astute when it comes to real estate, and that has taken a while to build. And no, there's no hesitation. I know exactly what to do in circumstances to help my clients figure out whatever they need.
Cool. Awesome. Awesome.
And if I don't know how to do it, then I certainly find a team of people that will help me get there.
Oh yeah, that was basically my next question was just like, do you do you think it's important, like, is do you think it's important to for a realtor to admit they don't have all the answers? Is it important, like, for them to like constantly communicate with other realtors who do have the answers? Let's say your brokerage team, or do you think?
Nobody has all the answers. Real estate is a living, breathing thing. Nobody has all the answers. The answers change depending on the situation. So two clients can have the same question, but their circumstances are very, very different, which would lead to very different results. So you really just have to know the ins and outs of everything that the client is working with and dealing with. And you have to just know exactly what the situation is, because each situation can be very different and it can change from year to year. So the rules and regulations also get updated. Codes change in real estate. So when you're doing a home inspection, what used to be code last year may not be code this year, or vice versa. And so you need to know all of that to be able to really guide your clients to make their best decisions.
Great, great. Now, for my last one, it's just a little, just to know, like, there's a little game show. Can you guess? I just call it Can You Guess. Can you guess three known brands that are in Atlanta, Georgia, as of the moment? What are three known brands?
What do you mean for known brands?
So I have
Of real estate, or of companies, or of
like
clothing,
like
or of
like like
shoes? What are you talking about?
like companies. What are there? What three known big companies that are not related to real estate are in Atlanta, Georgia? Do you know any? By any
Of
chance?
course I do. Accenture has an office here. Keller Williams has offices here. We have offices by, Mailchimp. Mailchimp just moved to Atlanta recently. We have many, many, many major corporations. Rivian just bought a huge plot of land right outside of the city to build electric vehicles. So there's there's many, 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 many small and big companies here.
Yeah. Well, I have down like Coca-Cola, Delta, and
Sure,
CNN.
yeah. And those are the ones everyone knows about.
Yeah. Have you ever seen them? Like, how big are the factories? Are they really big?
I mean, Coca-Cola has a giant, beautiful, fun museum here right next to the aquarium. So you should come to Atlanta and check out the Coca-Cola Museum if you like Coca-Cola.
Uh, I mean, I'm just a big fan of
Delta
water.
Delta even has a flight museum. So you can go to
That's
the Delta
awesome.
Flight Museum and you can hang out on airplanes. So there's a lot to do here.
Well, guys, if you want to visit Coca-Cola Museum and Delta Museum, you guys know where to go in Atlanta.
That's
Eh,
right.
Now, where Julie, thanks for being here. But where can the people find you, and in what social platforms? You mind me
Yep,
asking?
all of them. I am Julie St. George at Instagram and Facebook, and I have a podcast called the Perfect Property Podcast. The website is theperfectproperty.com.
Hmm?
You can find me everywhere.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for being here, Julie. Guys, remember, like and subscribe. And if you're an experienced agent or a new agent, trying to look for a way to give yourself a voice and to talk more, don't mind hopping on here. Comment down below or DM me on Instagram. Awesome, guys.
That's right. And if you're looking for an amazing agent or an amazing team in Atlanta, it's Juli at theperfectproperty.com. Just send me an email and I'll respond.
Now, awesome. I'll link Julie's links down below on the description. You guys can check out. She's also an amazing person. And yeah, guys, thank you very much. Have a great day.
All right. Have a great one. Thank you so much.